Well, like I mentioned in the beginning of today's class, the reason why you would be given something like that, it's a focus point, right? It's a focal point to focus on or something to concentrate on. The reason you do this in the beginning, focusing on your breath, focusing on the flow of your energy of your body, focusing on a point, focusing on a thought, so a contemplative thought. Anytime you're having to do this, it's still meaning that you're not totally there yet when it comes to meditation. So it is a good practice for sure when you're getting used to it. But as you get into a deeper state of meditation, you do not want things to focus on necessarily. Because like I was just talking about this disattachment perspective, which even for me, it's not new, but it's something that I'm just really getting good at. It's the concept of there's nothing that needs to be focused on. I mean, most people, especially in the Western society of meditation, they want to be meditating for the purpose of visualization, for the purpose of manifesting things, for the purpose of concentrating on things for them to come true, right? So I have an issue with my life, I want to go into meditation, figure it out. I want something in my life, I want money, I want to go into meditation and visualize and manifest and affirm money and abundance in my life, right? So any of these times when you need a focus, it's not true meditation. Because true meditative state is so present where you look at everything, like you look around and there's nothing in your mind. There's no judgment. So most people, you look around, right? Say when you're people watching. Everyone people watches. You go and you look at people and you're immediately looking at these people and you're judging them. You're just, okay, this is the clothes they're wearing. Oh, this person probably acts like this. Oh, it's always a judgment, right? So you're constantly thinking, right? So you're constantly having to kind of almost because when you're judging things, you're having to, it's almost like you're taking it for you. What is my perception on this? What is my judgment on this, right? So as you're looking at everything, and not just people, but every situation, and having to place some sort of label and basically take it for you, right? Just like how we hold on to memories, we feel memory, oh, like I never want to let this go, like I'm going to miss this. You're feeling like you're never going to experience something like that again, and you're having to hold on to it. So this concept of attachment is exactly what you need to get away from. So I mean, in the beginning, yes, opening your eyes. I mean, open eye meditation, when you don't have to focus on anything, like, because if you're open eye meditation, you're looking at a point, you're still having to focus on it, right? So your mind is still focusing. However, if you open your eyes and you just stare blankly out in whatever direction, there's no focus. And everything that comes by, something goes by you, you let it go. Any sound you hear, you let it go. Any feeling in your body, you let it go. Eyes open, eyes closed, it actually really shouldn't matter that much. But the real idea is the disattachment. Disattachment from everything, because the more you can practice this is why meditation, I mean, this is why every guru, every adept, every real successful person who understands meditation is always going to just teach you meditation. There's nothing else that needs to be taught. You don't need to learn anything else because you'll figure it out for yourself. As you're meditating, you will always get the answers that you need, whether you're asking the questions or not. As you're meditating, you will constantly be able to practice the concept of disattachment. So when you're in a negative state, you won't stay there for long. You will never stay there for long. You'll stay there at some point, because the idea of people think when they start meditating, they'll never feel pain. I'm never gonna have to feel pain again, never have to feel suffering. But this is not the concept. It's the idea of you're gonna be able to deal with it tenfold, 100 times fold better. So as anything comes in your body, like I was telling, there was one time when we were doing class, the concept of as you're walking through your life, say you're walking and this is a wall of anger. Okay, a situation of anger you're going to be faced with. So as you're walking, it's getting closer, and all of a sudden, situational anger hits you. So you have the decision now to delve into this and literally stop walking. Because even though you may physically still be walking, right? You may experience a situation and go up and do your thing or whatever. As you keep delving into this anger, as you keep holding onto it, you're actually, if you close your eyes and into like the spiritual realm of the world, you're not moving at all. You're stagnant now. Because you've held on to this emotion, this physical emotion. Because remember, when you close your eyes, clear your mind, clear your emotion, clear everything, all that is left is love. That's all that's left. Because all that love is life. Okay? Life equals love. Natural state. Everything natural state, you look at nature, green, love. Middle chakra, energy center, in the center, Your heart, green. Okay? So this is the concept of complete balance, complete life, complete love. So in this state, there's no physical. You don't hold on to any physical anything. And you don't hold on to anything in this world. You just go with it. So as the anger comes, you accept it, you feel it even. You feel it so much that you'll actually transcend it. Because as you're watching and actually feeling the negative emotion that you're feeling in your body, that's what will let it go. Because whenever I talked about the idea of emotion comes to you, you feel the negative emotion. You're not feeling the negative emotion. You're letting it become you. Everything, all a part of you, every part of your being is now you. The way you're acting, what you're saying, what you're thinking. This is now becoming all of you. This little chemical reaction in your body is controlling all of your reality now. Makes it this complete insanity. That's what it is. So when you realize this wall of anger that comes, you face a situation, you get angry, something happens, you let it go. Disattachment, right? Now all of a sudden your inner core, the being that you are that's inside this body, is going with the body. As you're still walking, so is your true self, the inner self. Now it's going with it. And everything is in line, everything is balanced. So you have the lower dimensions, the physical dimensions here, and the higher dimensions all in the same wavelength. Everything is in alignment. When they talk about have everything in alignment, your words, your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, this is having everything in the right line, right? So you have all these different parts of yourself. You have your physical self, you have your mental self, you have your emotional self, your astral self or your spiritual self, the unseen, the untouched, the thing that cannot be explained, because when you close your eyes, clear your mind, and still feel something there, you can't explain it. I can't explain to you what I feel in meditation. You can only experience it for yourself. So when you completely understand these concepts now, you realize the more I'm disattaching from things, the more I will stay in the state of love. Because if love is the natural state, the natural state of life, then that means, wouldn't it, that the universe or the world you're living in is working with you. So it's working completely with you. It's actually trying to give you everything that you want. Everything you've ever dreamed of, everything that you ever wanted in your life, or ever was supposed to have in your life, you are supposed to have it. It's trying to give it to you. What's happening is your physical body, your mind, your emotion that you think you are, all that's right here, you are the one that's resisting it. It's like, okay, if this is the direction to go, it's pulling you already in this direction. It's like if you're, okay, actually, a perfect example, you're taking a roller coaster. You're supposed to be facing forward, obviously. So you take the ride and go forward. But most people are actually turned around and trying to like crawl up like behind the seats and like go to the back or something. You're resisting the ride that's already taking you. So if you would just literally just shut up, turn off your mind, and let it take you in this beautiful ride, now all of a sudden everything will happen the way it's supposed to. And most people cannot even understand that. How could I not be acting and thinking and saying and doing all these things to make things happen in my life? How could I stop doing that? And how could things just come to me? Because most people think of it that way where, I mean, like they do when they go home, they sit on their couch, they turn off their mind. Yes, of course, they turn off their mind, they sit down, they watching the television, right? Mind is like, it's off. Of course it's off, because it's like getting hit with these like rays of beautiful television. That's the only concept you know of turning your mind off. However, you felt it here in the meditation class. You felt it when you've been to a great party and you're not even thinking of a thing. You could be losing your job tomorrow. You could have all these projects to finish. Doesn't matter. You're partying. You're feeling so good, right? Nothing's in your mind. You've all felt these situations once, at least once, hopefully. So this concept can be felt way more often. Not the ecstasy that you may consider when it comes to partying or these types of feeling. Not always that ecstasy, but more that concept of not so much thought and getting taken in this flow. Because like I said, if it's the natural state, if it is already the natural state, then you really do not have to do much. Because this period that you're going through right now, as I talked about in December, people are going through this shifting phase, this speeding up of time. The whole world is kind of going through this. You're having to delve into your deepest demons that you have within you that you never wanted to look at, they're coming up. This process is called, it's a healing process, right? So what happens, what's healing? Healing is, someone's injured, you heal them and they get better, right? So obviously that would make sense that maybe you have injured yourself in some way, you've been conditioned in some way, in some sort of negative way, and you're having to heal this process. Because like I always bring it back to the concept of a baby. You look at a baby, it is completely pure, completely natural. If you were to give a baby to, you go into certain places in the world where they have the greatest setups for raising children or teaching the proper things of meditation, natural food, and all these things right from when they're a child, they never have to go through this terrible pain process. They would never have to go through it. Because right when they're a baby, they're already taken into this beautiful ride themselves and they're taught the right concepts. So maybe the society is not taught the right things. There's no excuse though. But this is the process of a healing process. So first of all, you cannot be too hard on yourself. Because if you have certain faults, if you have certain things that is taking you out of this love process, the more you're concentrating on these negatives about you, the more you're getting pissed about your maybe slow growth or the challenges you're having in your growth or anything like that, then you're just slowing yourself down, right? So the only concept and the only thing you need to remember, first of all, is the meditation you're already doing and the idea of completely loving everything. Love intention with every single thing that happens in your life, every person that comes in your life, and everything you do in your life. And you say and you think and all these other things. Because if you're constantly in a state of love, or light, the natural state, then everything will flow the way it's supposed to. If you go back into the ego self of what can I get for me, what is going to be better for me, even though it may be hurting someone, even though it may not be the best for the people around me, then you need to understand that yes, maybe in the physical world, maybe in this physical you may get more money, you may advance yourself materially in some way, but remember, this physical is so little compared to what's actually on the inside, the karmic debt that you would have to pay for this decision that you're making. Because in the moment, eating that cake is always better. In the moment, getting more money than someone else is always making sense to be better because, of course, that's how we're programmed. But you need to understand that it's actually not. It's definitely not. And the more in tune you are with yourself, the concept of being meditative, actually understanding who you are, not just this physical body. Because if you only understand yourself as this physical body, then of course you would want to get all the money in the world, all the possessions, all the people around you, all the things in the physical world. But what happens when you die? None of that comes with you. None of that is going to the grave with you. It doesn't matter, right? So when you have a complete balance, because it's not to say these things are bad, but it's that balance, right? And that's why the heart chakra, the place where you originate from in the womb, the first thing that comes out is the heart. Everything grows out of the heart. And then as you get to the, I think it's like around the 4th month, when the baby's really getting formed, everything is bringing the heart back to the center. The toroidal pattern, okay, when you look at an apple, it has a toroidal pattern. So it has like starts in the core, goes outwards, comes to the middle. Everything has this toroidal pattern. And in human, that center, that core, that dot, it's like a little dot right in the center. Everything starts, flows all the way out, comes all the way around, and comes back in. This is the electromagnetic field that you have. And this ranges vary depending how much energy, how much love you're emitting. This can go out 20 feet. You can't see it right yet, but believe me, people can. People can see auras. Sometimes I'm able to see it, certain colors. So this idea of the electromagnetic field around you is always stemming from the heart, not the brain. Okay? So if you're not looking into this, because when you're meditating and I ask you to go deeper and deeper inside yourself, all I'm asking you to do is to go deeper here. If I guide you, okay, everyone focus into the center of your chest, this is why. Because there's a deeper core there that you can go in, it's an infinite core. So as you delve into this center, and as you're living out of the center, this can control everything about you. Your core here can control your brain, it can control the flow of your blood, control the energies in your body, it can control your actions, your words, all of these things. Because your brain, remember, is not you. So if you're in this core living here, you will live a completely intuitive life. So you will use your logical mind, figure things out analytically, logically, rationally, all these things. But as you're living in the core, you will be guided completely by intuition, guided completely by what you know is right, not having to prove it. Because there's two types of people in this world. There's the believers and then there's the non-believers, okay? So the believers, they just think everything is out of good faith. Not when they know that a knowledge or something that is being told to them or understood to them is out of good faith, they will believe it knowing that it is probably true. However, a non-believer has to be proven everything until they believe it's true. Both are useful, but you need to understand that having a complete balance, and maybe a little bit on one side, on the believer side, a little bit, will help you so much more in life. Because, like I said, the idea of explaining to someone what you feel in meditation when you can get clear is not a possible thing in language, in communication, when it comes to actual physical communication. It can't be done. It can only be experienced. So when you know something, you just know it. You can't explain why you know it, you just know it. This is the concept of living in your heart and living out of your heart. And if you can live this way, because it takes trust, believe me, it's not something that comes easy. It's definitely not. Because trust is something that most people do not have. I mean, people think they don't trust each other, but they actually just don't trust themselves. And as you can live in this concept of in your heart, in the love center, you will trust everyone around you because you'll just think that they will be out for the better good around you. And remember, as you are living out of this concept, as you are emitting this frequency, because that's what you're doing, you're emitting the love frequency when you're living out of this. When you're doing that, it will give the opportunity for people to give it back. This is how it works. And you will be able to receive it. So this is the idea, like I was saying. Okay, it may make sense to be greedy sometimes. Take what's for you if you need it. Oh, like how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to do these things? I need this money right now. I need this resource. Even though it's going to hurt someone, even though it's going to hurt the situation around me. But remember, you're not living here anymore. So it's actually preventing you from receiving any sort of love back. So when you're in a situation that someone can do the same to you, when you're in the situation where you actually need some sort of loving, you need some sort of abundance in your life, you will not be able to receive it because you have not opened yourself to do so. So, I mean, it's a win-win when you're in that center, is it not? You're giving out, you're helping people around you, it's emitting this to other people, they're feeling it off of you, and then at the same time, you're getting it back. It's like that open window concept. You open your window as big as you can give out, and you can receive. This is so crucial, and if there's one class that you ever wanted to come to, it was today. Meditation, you can practice, you can learn. The concept of love intention, this is so important. Because if you're missing this piece, especially in this shifting period that we're in, if you're missing this piece, life is not going to be the most loving experience, that's for sure. Because remember, as you're in the center, you're in the natural flow, things will go well for you. You're adapting to change. Remember when you're sitting in meditation and I ask you to disattach from your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, you're in a state of constant change, moment by moment, change, and you're embracing it. You love change. How many of us actually like change right now when we think about it? That's good. This is a good sign. Because chances are, if we had a bigger crowd of a different array of people, we would not get so many hands. Because change is the most fearful thing in your life. Change is it all comes from the unknown. But once you're able to constantly adapt to change and embrace change, you know that feeling that you get when you're fearful of something, that anxiety you will get it, but it will be so minuscule compared to before. It just won't matter. It just won't matter. You'll feel it. It's like when you jump into a cold pool. You can be Michael Phelps. It doesn't matter. You jump into the pool, you're gonna feel the rush. You're not invincible. But the concept of that anxiety or that fear, it will be so. You'll just it's there. Okay, I gotta just do it. I gotta deal with it. And you just go and you go and you flow and you flow and you flow. Okay? Because as you can disattach, stay in that center. I mean, there's nothing can affect you negatively. Straight up. Nothing. It's crazy. You can feel the worst pain in your body. You can feel the worst emotional trauma. It doesn't matter. You're invincible now. This is immortality, I'll tell you. And you hear the stories of people in the Himalayas, immortals. This is not a myth.